You sent out the recording of the TRC yet, Rabbi?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
I have another another email. I have to give them to your assistant.
All right. Baruch atah Adonai melech haolam, shehakol nהיה b'dbarei.
Amen.
Amen.
All right, welcome, folks. We continue with our Maimer, with our Hasidic discourse, Lo hayu yamim tovim liYisrael, that there were not holidays for the Jewish people like the 15th of Av and Yom Kippur, which, of course, so what we have explained in why would this be such a great holiday is because the great descent brings to a greater ascent. So we have Tisha B'Av, which is a great descent, right? The lowest of the, it's a national day of calamity of the Jewish people. And as we know, God is only but good, so the descent is only for a greater ascent that comes thereafter. And that great ascent will be with the ultimate redemption. And with the ultimate redemption, as we explained, a second. Above is the full moon, completion. And the idea there is completion in the name of God will be in the third holy temple when the latter two letters of God's name that do not have the same eternity and permanence and unity become like the first two letters in the sense of permanence, unity, and eternity. Right, so since Tisha B'Av is the destruction of the Holy Temple, right? So Tu B'Av is then the ascent that comes after that destruction. And the greatest ascent is, of course, the third and final Holy Temple that is permanent. And that's the connection with the permanence in God's name, right? That's see the relationship, yeah? That the descent brings to the ultimate ascent. Right? Because we have a whole full moon every month. But not every month we have the descent so low as we have in the month of the Tisha B'Av. So therefore the descent is greater. And that descent therefore is greater than what it brought to the low point, which is destruction of the two holy temples, right? So it brings to that permanence, and that's the connection of the name of God in the idea of permanence, right? Now, Mhm. Okay, trying to reduce it into something more simple. So what Tubov then is in Kabbalistic terms is that the level that is beyond God's name in 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 Kesser, in the crown, and in the level Kesser, the level of Atik, divine pleasure, illuminates and reveals itself in God's name that makes then brings a permanence and elevates the Vav-He into the permanence of the Yud and a He, Yud-K, which is how's that related to Tubav? Because Tubav is the 15th of the month, and Yud and a He is 15, right? So we have a full moon, right? That is now revealing in the name of God the 15th, that this also becomes 15, Yud K, right? Little esoteric. Trying to bring it down. Okay. So this at Tubab reveals this idea. Why is it on the 15th Bab that this reveals this idea of the light of Hashem that shines into the name of Hashem, the infinite light of Hashem. It shines into the name of Hashem that now elevates it, right? That reveals in it right? Which that main revelation will be in the times of Mashiach. And that's why there'll be permanence then. The reason for that is because on the 15th of Av is the completion of the moon after coming from Tisha B'Av, which is the lowest point, right? As we explained earlier. But based on that, we need to understand. The fact that there is a full moon on the 15th is only that it's revealed as full. The moon is always whole, right? We just don't see it as whole, right? Every day of the month, there's a full moon. We just don't see a full moon every day of the month. But the moon is full, right? So what's the virtue of the 15th of the month? Is that it's only revealed that it's a full moon on that day, right? So then what comes out is that the 15th of the month is only revealing something that's already there, right? Is revealing. Okay? Now, so we need to understand then that the 15th of Av as we're saying, is a sampling of what's going to be in the future Beis Hamikdash. Not only is it going to be greater than the first two, but it's going to be, incomparably greater, the third holy temple versus the first two. As we said, because the third holy temple is connected with God's name being 2 times Yud K, right? Yud and the Hey in God's name, right? Which is revealing in it the level of, as we said, in the crown, Atik, divine pleasure. Nonetheless, one second, make sure I got this clear. Okay. Hmm. Thought I got this clear. I don't know if it's, I need some more coffee. I don't know what it is. Hi. We're connecting the 15th of Av to the final redemption, the third holy temple that is much greater, incomparably greater. The light that's shining then is incomparable, the light of God that it is now. But in the end, the 15th of Av is only revealing the fullness of the moon, not accomplishing anything. As in the third holy temple, there's something that's accomplished, not just seemingly, you're not just revealing, you're creating something, or I don't know if creating is the right word, but you're not just revealing something that's already there, right? Revealing means you're revealing something that's already there. The 15th of the month is only revealing a full moon that was always full, right? It's now just being revealed to you its fullness. So you didn't create something, you just revealed something. But in the time to come of the third Beis Hamikdash, that light that will then is a new light that is going to be shining into the world. So it's not just revealing something, it is a new, I don't know, creation is the right word, not a new creation, but I don't know what word to use. All right. So that's when you have to understand that. Now, further, we also need to understand is that the 15th of Av is what's the 15th of Av is a day that existed before the spies, before those who died in the desert, right? Those who died in the desert. and then they stopped dying on the 15th, right? It existed before that. It existed before destruction of the Holy Temple, that you gone from the ninth, the lowest point to the high point that day. And its original connection we made, if you recall, is that the sanctuary, the Mishkan, right, has an entrance that is here, over here in the Mishkan, that is 15 amos. As we explained previously, that the measurement of everything that's in the Mishkan, in the sanctuary, and in the Holy Temple later, are very exacting. So there's a connection between the 15 of the Mishkan and the 15th of Av, right? So that's its original relationship. In other words, the original relationship of the 15th of the month, of any month, and particularly the month of Av, is not to the things that happened afterwards. The day existed before things happened, like the sin of the spies, right? That happened on Tisha B'Av, and that they died every year on that day. People died that day, on that day every year, and then the final year. Why is it a holiday? What's the reason for the holiday? Is because they stopped dying on that day, right? That's the main reason, the first reason. But that's something that is related to that day only afterwards. So in a way, it's not inherently related to the day, because that day existed before. And it's inherently related to the 15 of the length of the entranceway to the Mishkan, right, to the sanctuary. So if that's the case, what's the big deal on the 15th of the month of Av over any other month, right? In other words, what happened on the 9th of Av with the spies and the punishment that generation got is an occurrence that happened later, right? After the Mishkan, actually. And in any case, it's not inherently connected to the 15th of Av, right? It's connected after they sinned with people sinned with the sin of the spies, and afterwards many another 1,500 years later with the destruction of the Holy Temple. So what's the greatness of the 15th of Av? To such a degree that we say there were no such holidays like the 15th of Av. No greater holiday than that. It's the ultimate celebration. Is that clear? Again, it's not inherently connected to Tisha B'Av, right? Later on in time, it happened. But before it happened, there's already a connection, an inherent connection to the Mishkan, that there's an entrance of 15 amas. So it comes out of here. This 15th of Av, right, that we said is connected with revealing something, because it's in of itself is just revealing that the moon is full, right? That's what we explain. So we can understand actually that its idea is to reveal, revelation. And with that, we'll understand why it's connected with the day that the Jews in the 40th year, they stopped dying, right? In the desert. Because did they really stop dying on the 15th of Av? No, when did they stop dying? On the 9th of Av. So why? Because they weren't certain of the day of the month. When were they certain? When there was a full moon. What did the full moon do? Reveal backwards to the 9th of Av, right? That they stopped dying in the desert, right? So really, when did they stop dying? The 9th. When was it revealed, though? The 15th. So nonetheless, we set the celebration to the 15th, not to the 9th, because that's when it's become clear and revealed that they stopped dying. So in other words, this holiday is about revealing something that was already there. Just as the moon is full, it's only revealing what it is always, right? So on the 15th, what it's revealing is something that was already there. So this is why it's connected to the 15th. It's about revealing, right? So now the problem is we got to connect that with the destruction of the temple, right? And that the third temple is something greater. It's not just revealing, right? So we got to bring out that it's really now there's something what the 15th is doing is revealing something that's already there on the 9th. So what we need to do is to come to an understanding that there's something already there on the 9th. The 15th is revealing in not just in the dying of those in the desert that we got, right? That we got, but also in the holy temples. We need to see that, right? That it's only revealing something that's there already. A bit. I don't know if I explained it well enough, but hopefully the next class. Thank you.
Thank you.